Hey y'all, hey! This is Mikara Reid. Happy New Year. It's definitely 2018. New mindset. I'm super excited for this year because I definitely have some things that have been brewing since November, December-ish. But I am Mikara Reid, blogger and content producer for moremakarablog.com. On my blog, I discuss topics such as fashion, my style of life, and open discussions. So on this episode, I wanted to talk about, celebrating Black women on excellence. And if it ain't passion, why want it? I've been asking myself that question. And, this one individual, I felt like she definitely had that statement in her mind. And she actually did as I interviewed her. But with successful businesses, no one really has a perfect recipe to a successful business, yet alone having people who are interested in working in your passion project, which is like a whole other topic. We are all in the age of just making sure our image is everything, and it doesn't matter what angle we're talking about, whether it's PR, the behind the scenes stuff that you don't get to see, which is what my interviewee is. And then you also need to worry about your outside presentation. Is something that I'm definitely on top of my A game. But there is a point in time that I thought business was just all about money plus popularity plus good advertisement, which will equal sales and awareness. But I was definitely wrong, and I found out at the age of 24. How did I find that out? I found it out by, trying to venture into my own business with a makeup brand called Maquillage Boulevard, and I had no intentions on investing in PR. I thought because, I was popular, I had a couple of friends that knew some people, I thought they were going to be helping me, and stuff was just going to fly. It was just going to spread like wildfire, and it didn't. It didn't, not how I thought in my mind. But luckily, I broke even. If you're into business, you know what that means. But if you're not, I'll break it down. Broke even means that you basically got your money back, what you invested in. And how did I do that? When I relocated to Las Vegas, and I was, I wanted the remaining of the product to nail polishes to go to Vegas with me. UPS damaged a lot of my products, and I did have insurance. So they did reimburse me, more than what I put in. So that's how I broke even. But even though my business wasn't successful, I did learn. So I did not feel like it was a lost situation. So after I experienced that, that experience with that company of me trying to launch and not really having a background, my parents, I really didn't have anyone to talk to about it. My parents, they want me to strive for the American nightmare, not the dream. I think it's a nightmare trying to work the 9 to 5, or if you're in the health field, the 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. with the health benefits. I just could not live that lifestyle after a while. My creativity kind of just was not compatible with it. And I had very little entrepreneurial skills, which left me to figuring things out a lot by myself, by a lot of trial and error through this digital world. But luckily, through one good friend to another, I had a friend that introduced me to Miss Danita, who is the owner and founder of Noir, that's located in New York. She is a woman that actually had secondhand experience on entrepreneurial skills, and she was able to take advantage of it before, her time has come. She actually had parents that, own their own business, and she was able to pick up stuff a lot more quicker, and I was able to sit down and talk with her. But let me get into her a little bit before we get into our interview. I spoke with Miss Danita King, the very successful woman entrepreneur. She luckily found her own recipe and seasoning, as I would say, that set her apart, from PR companies today. She actually calls herself a brandist because she was more into getting to know your personal brand, not just your brand, but your personal brand, which is probably more confusing to people now because now, personal branding is big now. But back when she started in 2007, that wasn't the it thing. I had a very lovely discussion with Danita King in New York City. We had a very good conversation. I hope you guys learn from it, and I definitely want to continue on having open discussions, as I stated at the end of last year, and just spreading the word. But definitely listen to what she has to say. Anyone getting started on starting your business, you'll hear some from my ends, and you'll also hear a lot more on her ends on how the process is. It's definitely not glitter and gold. And as I repeatedly say, you are definitely going to have to cut out things that, if people understand your passion and your grind, they'll stick around. But if not, keep it moving. At the end of the day, this is your life. You are the director, the writer, and the creator. In the story, and that story relies on you, not everyone around it. But anywho, you guys check out this great conversation that we had about passion and starting your company from the ground up. And here it is, the lovely Danita King of PR Noir. All right. Hi, guys. So today I wanted to start my discussion on Black women excellence with I have a woman here who has her own business that started in 2007. She has her own PR company that started in 2007. I want to introduce Danita King. Say hello to the people.
Hi, people.
So I found out about Danita King from a mutual friend, Aquarius Kelly. Yes, he informed me about you because I had an idea, a crazy, lavish idea about a fashion show in Miami, and then I kind of rethought it out after I talked to you. And I dug up some history about you, and I saw that you have 3 degrees, which is very uncommon, especially among the Black population. I have 2 degrees, so I know the struggle. And then you also studied abroad. That's also another commonwealth that I have. I also studied abroad.
Where?
I studied in Egypt, Amsterdam, Jordan. I went all over. So yes.
That beats mine.
Yeah. So I wanted you guys to hear a different perspective on a woman who has a background that actually she pursued, because I actually changed my career, unfortunately. But my first question is, what made you want to get into the PR industry, specifically since you call yourself a brandist, you more so dig into personal branding, self-branding ahead of the time.
Yeah.
What made you go into that more further before, digital marketing started kicking in?
That's a good question. In terms of how I got into PR, it started when I was in college. I used to plan this arts festival every year, and I noticed that when I was planning it, I was putting my schoolwork aside and focusing on this festival, which meant I must have 200% loved it.
Right.
So, long story short, I was going to go to law school, and then I decided against that because I thought law wasn't creative enough. And so I got this book on careers in communications.
Books are amazing.
Books can change your life.
It can change a lot of lives.
It really changed the course of my education, which was the foundation to the course of my career.
Right.
So I got this book. There's this chapter on PR. I put 2 and 2 together and realized that's what I had been doing with the festival all those years. And then they listed these grad programs in PR. I got into the top 2. I got a full scholarship to 1. And that's kind of how it started.
And I saw that you work with a lot of big brands like Target, Disney, one of Russell Simmons' company, which is a jewelry. Sure. How did you know that it was time to start your company? Because I know I'm good in my profession as a stylist, but I still feel like I need some working to do. So I'm like very open to doing internships. But how did you know it was time for you to start your business?
I did it. I always say it just kind of fell in my lap. You know, I was doing PR, I was working for an agency. I was very happy there. I sort of moved up the ladder fast, and I was like an account director right out of grad school. I never really started out as an assistant. Like, I started out leading accounts. So I was super happy there, but a menswear designer at the time, I went to a store opening of his, and he approached me about doing PR. Okay. And I was like, no, I'm good. I have a job. Like, no, I'm not available. And he kept pressing me and calling me and emailing me. And sure enough, I was like, okay, I'll do it. So I did it kind of as a freelance thing and as a side project without telling my full-time job, which you should never do, by the way. But I did it, and it sort of took off from there. I had done such a great job for him that he started to refer me to other people, or other people would ask, who's doing your PR? I see you everywhere. And so with that came about 2 or 3 more clients. And then I also ended up brokering this deal with a marketing company and taking on one of their big fashion accounts and doing PR for that account. And those 3 or 4 things allowed me to sort of leave my job and go full-time on my own.
Okay. Cool. That sounds very cool. It sounds cool, but I'm quite sure the process was it wasn't as easy
as I'm making it sound.
Right. It's probably a lot more tedious.
Sure, but it was as organic as I'm making it sound, because I didn't pursue it. I didn't pursue any of it. It all sort of came to me. I did apply online for the marketing company partnership. I didn't know if I would get it though. And I met with them 3 times. I got it, and the rest is history. So that's one thing to start your business. That's how it sort of came about. But to sustain it is a whole different story. So I could have left my job and just been screwed 6 months later. Right. You know, but I really put the blood, sweat, and tears in to make sure that I did extraordinary work so that more business would continue to come.
Gotcha. So would you say to, you know, females that are starting out or trying to figure it out, would you say to stick with stuff that's organic, or kind of let people advise you to see what your strengths are? Like, what would be your advice?
I would say follow your passion, right? So everybody's path to entrepreneurship is different. And that happened to be mine. I knew I wanted a business one day. I wasn't sure exactly what type of business that would be. I come from an entrepreneurial family. My dad had his own accounting and financial planning firm, so I spent a good chunk of my youth in that environment. And it was the biggest blessing, because I learned so much terminology and lingo of entrepreneurship at a very young age. And I was able to transfer that over into my endeavors as I became an entrepreneur. So everyone's path is different. That was mine. But the passion for what you do is what's going to fuel your day today. It's what's going to wake you up in the morning. It's what's going to motivate you when you don't feel like working. It's going to put you on a schedule when you could be in your pajamas watching TV in the middle of the day. It's going to carry you through when you're like, oh my God, where's my next check coming from? You know, I don't know where money is coming from. I don't know where my next client's coming from. The passion for it has to carry you through all of those times, good, bad, and everything in between.
I agree. I definitely agree, because I'm definitely in that phase. I definitely had to cut out a couple of folks, rearrange some bookkeeping. But I mean, I'm very happy in being in the fashion industry, because the health industry is going a whole nother route with this president in office.
Oh yeah. Who knows?
So what is next for PR Noir?
That's a great question. We're expanding to, I feel like we've always offered a range of different services. And what we don't offer, we have strategic partner companies that we work with directly. So for example, we don't really focus on social media, but we have a great partner that if a client wants social media, we can sort of tag team it and do it together. But what's next is diversifying the business. We're doing a ton of talent booking these days.
Okay.
It started out with sort of entertainment-driven PR programs, and through those building relationships with celebrities.
Okay.
And so through those relationships, we're now able to book talent on behalf of brands. So for example, if a digital media company is looking to place a rapper for one of their advertisers' online campaigns, we can make that happen for them. So we're doing a lot in the talent space, I can tell you that. And then the second thing I would say is we're opening a second office in Miami. It's so crazy. Yeah.
Take me back to Miami.
Right? So those two things are the top priority, the expansion to that market, as well as all the stuff that we're doing in the talent space, as well as all the PR that we're doing on top of that. So
Cool.
It's a good time. It's a busy time.
I know.
You know,
Because it's a new year.
Exactly. A new year, a new beginning.
So will you be focusing on celebrities? Are you going to be focused on micro celebrities or influencers? Or is it just like the hardcore traditional celebrities?
Sure. So we've done PR for celebrities and talent. We've had about 3 or 4 solid celebrity talent programs that we've done. I don't love it, to be honest. It's just super taxing to be a celebrity publicist.
Yes.
It's a whole nother life.
Yes.
Your life is sort of consumed with this other person's
world.
life and schedule.
Yes.
I mean, if that person calls you at 2 a.m., then, you know, you pick up, and your weekends, you have award shows and tapings, and you know, your schedule is like super, super crazy. So I'm not opposed to taking on more talent, but it's not a top priority. What I have transferred those skills to is talent booking, which is kind of, they're cousins, they're similar arenas, but different. It takes the sort of PR aspect out of things, and it's really sort of in and out. You book them for various campaigns, projects, programs, initiatives, and then you back away from it.
Yeah, because that's very becoming, because everybody's starting to book for like motivational speaking or appearances.
Yep.
So that's becoming more popular because, you know, they want more following. They think it's advertising.
Yep.
So that's actually a great route. A thought of another career. Would you be interested in like chefs? Because chefs are becoming, you know, known.
I love chefs. We are always open to everything. I can say that's the one thing about my business and why it has grown in the time period that it has, because initially I started out strictly doing sort of fashion and beauty, maybe luxury goods here and there, because that was my background. But then sort of halfway through, I realized that I was closing us off to a lot of great opportunities, and I had a lot of varying interests that spanned far beyond fashion and beauty. And so I deliberately made a decision to make it a full-fledged lifestyle agency. And through that, we've had clients ranging from, you know, tech companies, religious figures, hotels, nightlife, hospitality, wine and spirits, fashion, beauty, nonprofit, you name it, we've sort of
Branched
done it.
out.
Exactly, all under our umbrella. So culinary is not a world that I've been in too much from a professional side, but I'm totally open to it because I totally am a foodie, and it would match my personal interests.
I've been running into a lot of chef. I actually had a chef in my first discussion ever. And me and him were talking about, you know, will Black people eat healthier for the soul?
Yes.
And then ever since then, I've been meeting like all types of chefs, but they're all, a lot of them are based in Atlanta.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Atlanta and Chicago,
But the thing is, people have realized that everyone needs PR. Like, whether you are the CEO of an organization or even like just a senior level executive, I get approached by senior level executives at major brands that want PR outside of what they're doing with their brand. So they're like, how can I get written about in Black Enterprise or Wall Street Journal or Inc. or Forbes. Like, they want that type of stuff.
Yeah.
So the power of PR is stronger than ever, and you find like the most random person having a publicist, which I find hilarious, but at the same time I don't, because it's very necessary.
Right.
And it's good for us, you know, because there was a time when people didn't necessarily value PR in the way that they do today.
Correct.
And so chefs in the culinary space, you know, if you want to be on the Food Network and the Cooking Channel, or you want to get on segments on the Chew, or any sort of morning talk show, then you need a publicist.
Right.
And they realize that, and so they're calling.
Yes, I definitely agree.
Yeah.
So you said earlier that you are branching out to the Miami office. Would you ever consider going to the West Coast?
I would. I totally would. I love LA. I love spending time in LA.
Do you really?
I do. And LA makes a lot of sense for the direction that we're going in on the talent side. So I'm not opposed to it. I would say for now, the reason why I didn't pick LA is because of the distance.
Yeah.
I still need to be in New York quite a lot. So just the West Coast back and forth, I'm not sure about right now. And Miami is like closer and easier.
Yes.
But yeah, that could be place number 3 for sure, because I love LA and there are a lot of business opportunities out there.
Cool. Will there be any, would you think about any other locations in the United States, or would you go overseas?
Sure, both, both. We go where the opportunities are. So the Asian market is huge. We've had a couple of Japanese brands approach us. So Hong Kong or Tokyo would be super dope. Always open to Europe, and domestically, I think Chicago is a great market.
I love Chicago.
It's too cold. Oh, it is very cold. Like, it's the only downside about Chicago.
It is.
Otherwise, it would be so poppin'.
It would. I would live there.
I would too.
It's just too cold. -10. I'm like, oh no, my bald head is going to freeze.
Hilarious. It is brutal. That is the only thing that keeps me from Chicago.
And Chicago.
Yeah. I mean, they're all like right there in the same corridor. So yeah, Chicago would be great. I'm open to Atlanta. I'm open to San Francisco and Silicon Valley, depending on like the tech side of the business. So yeah, we got a lot of options.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So I wanted to close out this meeting with one of your quotes that you use, which is character and quality is the main portion of your company motto. How do you want to maintain or sustain that quality as you continue to grow, since you're going to be going to Miami?
Yeah, I mean, I make all of my business decisions based on my faith and my personal beliefs. And I have been in positions where I needed the business, but I turned down the business for ethical reasons because it didn't align with sort of what my belief system is. And as a result, I think I've been blessed tenfold. I think sometimes that's a test. And, I've been blessed. If I turn that down, then 10 more things will come my way 24 hours later. Like, I've literally experienced that. So I truly believe in not selling yourself out, standing firm and standing true to your beliefs, having the highest integrity in the way that you do business. I think that people respect me personally and they respect my company because they know that we operate with the highest levels of integrity and have a very high standard of excellence. So that's been sort of the formula and the sort of foundation that I don't intend on changing anytime soon and sort of carrying over to whatever market that we go in. And I'm even selective about, who works for me.
Yes.
I
want to
so
put
critical.
that in my little motto as well.
Absolutely. I mean, you have to be very cautious,
Yeah, for your brand and their brand.
Absolutely. And sometimes, you can groom someone who's a little less experienced to grow with you if they're a hard worker. But some people with experience can come on board with egos and attitudes
and the whole baggage.
Yeah.
And mess up your whole brand and their brand.
Mess up the whole flow. You're just like, So I've learned to sort of screen a little bit better when it comes to that, and make sure that the excuse me, the nucleus that we've established in the family is very sort of closely aligned on many different levels. And like I said, I appreciate hard workers because I'm a hard worker, and if you're not working on my level, then chances are you're not a good fit.
Right.
You
gotta go.
Integrity and honesty and me being able to trust you. We're a small team. I need to trust you with my office keys and all sorts of things that come with sort of being a smaller environment.
Right.
So all of that is super important to me, and I hand select everybody from the highest level person to the intern, just because we all need to mesh and we all need to get along and we all need to work well together.
As a unit.
Exactly.
Yes. Is there any advice that your number one advice you would give to any young girl that is getting into the PR world now?
Yeah, I would definitely say intern.
Yes.
Intern
Intern till you figure it out.
Intern till you can't intern
I definitely
anymore.
agree.
That is the key. And also, sometimes you think you want to do one thing, and then you get an internship, and you're like, no, I don't want to do that. So those internships kind of allow you to figure out exactly which aspect of PR appeals to you most. And then I would say, wherever you go, whatever you do, make an impact.
Yes.
Be the hardest worker there. Get there early, stay late, say yes to your boss on the weekends, do whatever it is you need to do.
Go that extra mile.
Go the extra mile times 10. And I can tell you that goes a long way with me. It goes a long way with people in my network. And I've had people who have interned for me, and I don't necessarily have a spot for them at the time, but I love them so much. They work so hard for me. They gave me their all. If they want to work in music, I will call every record label, every music management company, people who are heads of these companies, senior VPs at this company, and I personally will be their HR and get them a job.
Right.
And so you need that. You need advocates in whatever industry that you decide to go in. And you create advocates by being the best and being a really hard worker.
Yes. I definitely agree, because I'm like on that path, but still figuring out. Yes.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for taking the time in this discussion. I look forward to more of your work. Hopefully we can partner up or something. And that is it. Thanks for tuning in, everyone.
This is fun.
I genuinely love having the discussion with Danita King. It's amazing how much in common you have with someone once you open up a discussion with them. I drew great amount of attraction to her and her brand because she's not really centered around celebrity. That's something that I want to take approach to. I'm not limited to celebrity, but I'm definitely drawing more attraction to micro celebrities or influencers or public speakers. I like dealing with someone that needs help with dressing, but they have a very strong voice. Something that is like an opposite attract. So I feel like for my new model on the styling end of spectrum for my company, I want to work more with more micro celebrities. I definitely look forward to possibly doing a partnership with Miss Danita King in the near future. If you guys loved the interview or want to inquire about her PR services from PR Noir, you can definitely email them at info@prnoir.com. Let me know how you guys like the interview, or if you guys have any additional questions. Maybe I can reach out to her, or we can have a part 2. Definitely let me know. I'm open to it. And stay tuned for more discussions. I'm definitely going to be having different walks of life. So stay tuned. Thanks so much for tuning in my discussions on More Mikara blog. I hope to hear from you guys. Definitely follow me on Instagram at More Mikara, Facebook, and Twitter. I don't know. I'm just not a Twitter person. I don't know what it is. Facebook and Instagram is definitely my thing by far. But definitely if you want to email me as well, moremikara@gmail.com. Thanks for tuning in. Again, Happy New Year, everyone. It's 2018. As many would say, new year, new me. But it's just another day for me, another opportunity. Let's get it. I'll holla at y'all later. Bye.